Hi, Sophie here. So in this episode of Friday Favorites, I am chatting to you about my favorite kitchen gadgets, simple kitchen gadgets that I can't live without. All right, so kitchen gadgets. I have to be honest that I used to be a sucker for a kitchen gadget in the sense of I'd go to a store like Bed Bath & Beyond and come up with so many things that I was like, oh, that's amazing. It's going to make my life so much easier, that little gizmo and gadget. And then it ended up just staying in the drawer, not being used, going to the thrift store, whatever. So I would say over the last 5 to 8 years, I have become extremely minimalist in my kitchen. I only have the things that I use every week, if not every single day. So the gadgets that I'm showing you today are gadgets that really make my life easier. They're all inexpensive, little, easy to get gadgets that I think that you're going to really enjoy. Let's get going. Okay, this is gadget number one. Tofuture is what it is called, and it is a tofu press, transforming tofu, which it does, press, marinate, and cook, which I love. So here's the deal. This is what it actually is. I use a lot of tofu, and contrary to what you might read on the internet saying that soy is unhealthy, organic soy is extremely healthy and very disease preventative. I am a board certified nutritionist and I have done an enormous amount of research into this, and I'll put a couple of links underneath this video in case you are skeptical or worried. So that being said, I really do like to use a tofu press because if I don't have a press, then I'm wrapping the tofu block when it comes out of the packet in paper towel. It's a total waste of paper towel and dish towels and then putting a weight on it. And it even then doesn't really get the water out. You need to drain your tofu so that it's super dry, and then you can crisp it up. You can put it in your air fryer, you can marinate it, etc. So I want to show you how this works. I've been pressing this piece of tofu just for a couple of hours now, and it actually has the stamp, the brand stamp in it, which is pretty cool. So that's that. And interestingly, when I took it out of the container, I obviously left all the water, drained out all the water from the container, but I want to show you this. So, okay, it has these little slats in the bottom, these little draining holes, I should say, sorry, in the bottom. So that's where the liquid drains out. And I have already that much liquid sloshing around just from, a couple of hours, and I'll have more if I, leave it in there. And so what you do is so simple. You just pop your tofu out of the container, discard the water, then you're going to put the top on like that, the press down, and then it has these little elasticy things on the side, which you can take down to whatever level you want. There's 3 different levels. I'll show you that, depending on how hard you want to press or push down on that block. And it's actually really easy to do. Let's do that. There we go. And that is it. So you just forget about it. You can leave it in the fridge overnight, and then in the morning it's going to be absolutely perfect, or for a few hours. And the other thing that I really like is that it stores your tofu. So if you're only using half the block, and very often I really will only use half the block, and I think, oh no, I've got to transfer the other half to a different container or Ziploc bag or something. You don't have to. You just use what you want, shove it back in here, keep pressing it, and you're good to go. So that is something that I use an awful lot, and I think it's really, really worth the money. Okay, gadget number 2, food huggers. So keep your food fresh longer. So how many times have you heard that, by the way, keep your food fresh longer? That can be the biggest load of BS, because all these different bags, produce bags and everything, I've never found any that really work. But this is genius for me, because I use a lot of lemons and I use a lot of onions. I actually have a lemon tree in my backyard. And my pet peeve is having half a lemon hanging around and you leave it in the fridge and it just gets kind of nasty. I'm sorry, you leave it either in the fridge or on the counter and it gets nasty. This, oh my gosh. Actually, I've tried to fit rather a large lemon in this one and it's a little bit too small. But this is the perfect size. These are Maya lemons, so they're huge. And look at that, it literally hugs it. There's silicone, it's an airtight seal around it. There's one for a grapefruit, there's a smaller one, you know, for a lime, there's one for a smaller lemon. So no brainer. As I said, silicone, so it's safe. And the other thing that this size is perfect for is tomatoes. Again, if I'm on my own, I might use half a tomato. And that other half of the tomato, I don't want to use plastic wrap for it, and which I've just got to throw away. And I certainly don't want to use aluminum foil and have the aluminum leaching into food. So thank you, food huggers. Perfect. Okay, gadget number 3, the grip stick. Now, the first thing I want to say about these is that I don't love buying plastic things. I try to keep as much plastic out of my house as possible, and I don't like plastic particularly coming in contact with my food. Certainly, you know, I don't like storing my food or heating my food in plastic. It's just not healthy. But I was using rubber bands to instead of chip clips to keep bags that I had opened, such as chips and salad bags, and it really didn't keep them very airtight. Chip clips break and they're not very good. So enter the grip stick. Now, I think this is just genius, and I'm just going to show you why. So here we go. I have a bag of half-eaten, by the way, love this brand, Siete, grain-free tortilla chips. But all you do is just slot the little yellow thingy in. Look how easy this is. And what's so great about it is that you only have to turn the bag over once. So you're going to keep all the chips or salad or whatever in a sort of big enough bag. I am actually loving these so much that I am going to send some to my mum in England, because she's always got these half unopened packets of everything in her pantry. So I'm going to get her straightened out with the grip stick. Gadget number 4 is the Chefin. I think it's called the Chefin. I've had this for a while now. It is a leaf stripper. Now, there are different ones on the market, and I've tried them, and this is by far my favorite. So I eat a lot of kale, dino kale, and I cook with a lot of herbs. So, and check out some of my cooking videos, by the way. I have lots of recipe videos. So I just want to show you here. Look, it goes like, boom. Look at that. There you go. Stalk, no thank you, don't need. And perfect, my kale. For making my kale salads and my kale crisps and all the other things. But it's also really good for Swiss chard, and what's great is it has the little teeny holes here for herbs. So if you've got something like thyme or a little tiny herb like that, you would use that there. If you have a slightly bigger herb like sage, you could use that there. So it is such a great gadget. And last but not least, if you're an avocado lover like me, we have this little gadget here. Now, okay, you could use a knife, of course. That's not a big deal. But here's where it gets interesting. That's not the most perfect avocado, I have to say. It's a little bit overripe, so this isn't going to work as demo as perfectly as I would want it to. But for me, very often, you know, getting out the slices is not quite as easy, or that I can't get it as perfect as I would like to for Instagram shots and whatnot. So this little guy is fantastic because we just go in and boom, oops. As I say, it's a little bit mushy, this avocado, so it wasn't a fail, but it is not the best demo. But anyway, you can see where I'm going with that. If you've got a nice ripe avocado, it is really fantastic, and I actually think that little gadget is worth it, and I use it a lot. And last but not least, we have the Tavolo. It is a cross between a spoon and a spatula, but I can only say that as a gadget, I'm going to go with calling it a gadget, it is absolutely genius. So it's made of silicone, and if you do a lot of blending, I make a lot of smoothies, I make a lot of nice creams, I make cashew cheese and sauces in a blender that sometimes get really thick, and particularly in a Vitamix blender where you've got those little blades at the bottom. So this guy, it just goes right in under the blades, and you can just scoop up whatever you need to, getting under those blades. And it's super, one side of this is super duper flexible because it's this silicone that's very flexible. And then the other side is a little bit more firm. And so that could be for, a slightly different kind of scooping or even stirring. But that is a really simple little gadget that if you are, in the Vitamix blender camp, and particularly if you are a baker, I think that is a little gadget that you are going to absolutely love. Okay, that's it. So what do you think of those gadgets? I wish that avocado hadn't been mushy, because that was the one that I was like, oh, it works so well if you've got a beautiful, firm, ripe but firm avocado. So I apologize for that. I just didn't want to cut into another avocado and waste it for the sake of this video, but I think you kind of get that works really well. But here's my point, or my question. You've seen those gadgets. Which one is your favorite? If you had to pick one that you haven't already got, which would be the one that you would choose? And also let me know in the comments if you have any particular gadgets that you are just like, oh my gosh, I have to tell everybody about this gadget. I cannot live without it, because then maybe I'll check that out, try it. This is so often what I do when I get your comments. You go, Sophie, you need to know about this book or this skincare product, and then I'll check it out, and if I like it, I'll get it, road test it, and pop it in another Friday favorites video. So do let me know, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video and don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos, please subscribe and make sure you click on the bell icon next door to the subscription box so you'll be notified as soon as a video goes live. Also, make sure you turn on the notifications for YouTube on your phone.